Hi, my beautiful people. It's me, Sylvia. Simply Sylvia. Okay? I am here tonight to bring you the Heavenly Father's message of love and truth. Okay? Tonight, we're going to talk about Paul's epistles, First Timothy and First Corinthians, as they relate to women's apparel. Okay? If you ever read these epistles, it's written in them that women were supposed to dress covered from head to toe. They were not to wear any embellishments in their hair. They were not to wear jewelry. They were not to wear anything that would draw attention to them. Okay? To make men, to cause men to be tempted and to desire them in the wrong way. Okay? Back in those days, the it was the man who paid, not the woman. The man paid to marry. They would give the father a dowry. They would go off for maybe 2 years or more and build a house from the ground up for their bride. Okay? And then after he's done building the house and furnishing it and everything, he would go and get his bride. Okay? And what they would do is actually not really have a celebration at that point, but they did something to show their families and friends that they were engaged. Okay, and once they finished celebrating that, he would take his bride home, the one he built, the one he built, and they would have relations. That sealed the marriage. It wasn't all this ring exchanging and all these vows and this long wedding and all these expensive things that you spend money on uh, to make this celebration a big experience, a wonderful experience. It's your day. It was simple for them back then. They didn't need all that. Okay, they were just happy to be together. Yeah, just happy to be together and being in love, because a lot of them fell in love naturally. For example, when Jacob saw Rachel, he knew immediately that she was the one. Okay? That's the kind of love that you should have with your spouse. Okay? If you didn't have that and you're already married, okay, you stay married. You make it work. I'm not telling people to get divorced. No, not by any means. Okay? So they would have to be covered from head to toe, the women. Okay. Now I'm gonna add something for you to think about. Okay. Like I said before, the Bible is written by the enemy, but because the Heavenly Father is merciful and loves His children, He sprinkled little jewels throughout it so that His children will have hope and to know that He did not abandon them. Okay? When you look at the Bible, really look at it. Why do you think the New Testament is so small? Yeah, because the majority of it is about the false Egyptian, lowercase God, Amun Ra. Okay? And the New Testament is about Christ. Okay? That's the reason why, you know, it exists. Okay? Revelation is about the enemy and the return of Christ. And that's the reason why it's in the New Testament. Okay? The enemy couldn't help himself. Okay, let me continue on. So women dressed from head to toe and were completely covered. Not their face, but everything else. Um, so I'm trying to blank, sorry. It happens sometime. Um, as the enemy is busy because he doesn't want me to tell you the truth. Okay? The women were dressed in apparel that would cover their entire body. Like I said, with no embellishments in their hair, no jewelry, nothing that would attract attention. And the reason being for that is because what did the evil one say? I am a jealous, lowercase God. He is a jealous, lowercase God, because even though he enjoyed being with women in a human form, not a spirit form, a human form, because you can't touch and feel and get the true experience being a spirit. Okay? He would indwell human beings and would mate with them so that they could spread his seed. Okay? He wanted to procreate, be like the Father in heaven. Yeah. And just a little caveat, he was bisexual. He liked both men and women. Look up the story of Pan, Pan, the half goat, half man. Okay? That'll give you a clue. So he would want the beautiful women. Only he would know that they were beautiful besides their husbands. And he would indwell their husband's body and make love. Well, I can't say that's love, but we'll have relations with them. And then he would leave and go about his business. Okay? That's the reason why he had Paul write in Timothy, First Timothy and First Corinthians, for women to cover themselves completely. He wanted first dibs, so to speak. Okay? I'm pretty sure he indwelled the husbands the first time the husband and wife got together, because that way he wouldn't contaminate his seed, the his seed, with her husband's seed, her insides, because once you do that, a man does that inside a woman, his essence is in her, and it stays there until yeah. And also, like with the males, some of the males look feminine, they look like women, and he would be attracted to them, and he would indwell their wives and make out with them. They didn't know the difference. I mean, the next day the wife probably would have said, "Oh, husband, oh, the lovemaking was wonderful." It probably was a totally different experience. He probably did some perverse things to them. They may not have wanted it because they didn't know that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So picture that. No, don't picture it. Okay? So, he would have the women dressed this way. Um, and they would, therefore, of course, be obedient, because it was considered like a moral law. It wasn't a sin, because you did have your, what I would say, Jezebels, because they had prostitutes back then. The only thing a Jezebel would do, and this is odd, they would cover their face. They would cover their face. Now imagine, you would think someone who was wholesome and pure would cover their face. But the Jezebels were the ones who covered their face. They covered their face so that a man would know that they were a prostitute. Okay? So they did that. And I apologize for any noise because we have Gen Zers, like 3 of them in the house. And, they're playing video games, cooking, washing hair, doing everything. So forgive me. Yeah, so, yeah, that's the reason for them wearing the veil over their face. Okay. Um, so that the men would know what they were. Okay. So, yeah. And that's the reason why the women dressed like they did. So when you're a female or even a male who may think you're a female, or you're kind of like, you like to dress feminine, but you still have all your male parts. Okay? When you dress like you don't care, and when I say you don't care, I mean like your body parts exposed. You're wearing a skirt so short that I see your butt cheeks and you don't even have to bend over. A little bit too sexy, and you're exposing yourself. And then when somebody essays you or stalks you and do all kinds of weird things to try to get your attention, you can't be mad. You can't be mad. Because you can't say, oh, that person's weird. Yeah, they are weird. They are perverse. They are perverse because you shouldn't have to feel like you have to force yourself on someone. Okay? But you didn't help by dressing that way. There's a way to dress and still look sexy. Okay? You don't have to look like these celebrities who show everything and wear lingerie on stage. Okay? You don't have to look like that. You can still look beautiful. You can still look sexy with most of your private body parts covered. You just have to find the clothing. Okay? I'm not saying you should do this. I'm saying, this is how the Father in heaven sees you. Okay? Modest. Not extremely modest like the women back in Israel during, Christ's time, Moses and all those. But a modern day version, put a twist on it. Just don't expose all of your breasts, your butt cheeks. Because to be honest, I don't want to walk down the street and see your butt hanging out. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't want to see that. I got my own butt. I don't even want to look at it. Okay? So what makes you think somebody wants to see yours? I mean, there are men out there that want that, and women too. They like that kind of stuff. But a lot of them are perverse. They don't have more of the Heavenly Father spirit in them than the enemy's spirit. Okay? It's all about the spirit, the spiritual. It's not about the flesh. If you have more of the Father's spirit in you, you wouldn't desire those things. You could be dressed have on a maxi dress. Okay, those things are nice. They're very nice. They cover you, without you looking like a nun. Okay, they do have like halter tops and stuff like that, but that's not too bad as long as your breast is not about to pop out. Okay, you want to keep some mystery to yourself, because believe you me, if a man looks at you and he's attracted to you, in that way, he's going to want to uncover the mystery. Okay, what's behind these clothes? Okay, now I'm not saying that you should allow that, because um, the Heavenly Father wants you to be married, to be committed, to love, to really love, like, yeah, till death do you part, but not necessarily to death. Okay, not to death, because if someone is abusing you and beating you, treating you bad, not there for you, not taking care of you financially, you and your kids or whatever, then you don't stay with that person. Why would the Father in heaven want you to stay with an abuser, a narcissist? Think about who would want you to stay in that situation. You guessed it right. The enemy. The enemy. So that he can indwell you, so you could do something that you would never do, which is probably unalive that man or woman who's abusing you and your kids and your dog or your cat. Yeah. Okay. I know I'm dropping some other subjects in this video, but it's all related. It's all related. I'm not going down rabbit holes and leaving you hanging. No, it's all related. And at some point in time, I may talk about these other topics in detail on the Heavenly Father's message. Okay. Um, okay. So I think that's all I wanted to say about the apparel situation. I'm just saying, for your own safety and to please the Heavenly Father. Okay. So that when he looks at you and he sees you, because he does sees you, every individual on this planet, and especially those who he has chosen, that he has marked. You see how big that is? He smacked me when I was conceived. Not like smacked me like to hurt me, but he gave me a mark, and it's light. Okay? Not saying a dark mark is evil. I'm not saying that, because the enemy can't mark you naturally. He has to create a system, something to put in you, a chip, maybe. Like I said, these topics, if the Father in heaven is willing, will be discussed in detail at a later time. Okay? And with that said, this is your girl, Sylvia, coming to you with the Heavenly Father's message of love and truth. It's all about love, people. It's all about awareness. It's all about enlightenment. Okay? Um, I thank you for being with me. I hope you like and share, comment. You must forgive me because I didn't turn comments on the other video. I saw some likes, and I'm like, well, why aren't people commenting? I'm pretty sure people got something to say, especially about the Heavenly Father's message of last night about the rainbow people. The rainbow people are my sisters and brothers who are of different sexual orientations. The alphabet. I probably should have said the alphabet people, The alphabet rainbow, people. But it's very interesting. It's enlightening. It's very good for parents who have children that way, you know, who live that type of lifestyle. Okay. Okay, people. Thank you for tuning in. Be blessed. Love the Heavenly Father. Love yourself. Love your families. Love one another. And may you be blessed. Good night.